Hello. We are going to talk foundation mistakes today. I'm going to give just a few moments for people to join us and get on. I am tired. I've been going so hard for a few months with networking and speaking engagements, and I have one today, one on Saturday. It's a good problem to have. Do not get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. It is a great problem to have. I am not complaining, but it's starting to catch up to me. So I really went into this week thinking it was going to be a week of little to no activity, like no Zooms, no anythings. And boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. I don't know what calendar I was looking at, but it was clearly not the correct calendar. Clearly not the correct calendar. So let's get some eye cream. I love to use my eye cream kind of as like an under eye primer. I had already cleansed and toned. I meant to actually, I was supposed to exfoliate, but I guess I'll be doing that tonight. Oh, this feels so good. Make sure I don't get my hand on a little piece because I don't want to warm it up. I want to keep it cool. Oh, this feels so good. I need this right now. I need this little bit of pampering. And so I love to use the eye cream as kind of an under eye primer, just a little bit. And then I tap it back and forth. Okay. And I like to roll it. So we're going to talk foundation mistakes because a lot of us are making foundation mistakes. There's the statistic, and I can't remember the exact one, that says how many women are wearing the wrong size bra. I postulate, theorize, hypothesize, whatever it is, that the majority of women are actually wearing the wrong foundation. And it's not just like a crackpot theory, right? It's something that I've noticed a lot. And this is not just about dark-skinned women, because honey child, let me tell you, I've seen some fair girls in the summer, their chest gets really red, even like a reddish brown, and then they still are walking around with this porcelain face, and that looks really, really weird. So it's really a great idea to have your summer shade and your winter shade, okay? Because, my face is already usually pretty darker than my chest. And then in the summer, they kind of catch up to each other. And sometimes my chest is a little bit darker because, I wear hats and stuff like that. So before I forget, let me put this in here. So we don't want you to miss out on the Summer Glow Beauty event we have going on. I'm always excited about that. And we will get that going too. It's also in the caption, so we'll pin this. There we go. All right. So we have moisturized. I put on serum, eye cream. Really like to do the whole face yoga thing under the eye, right? Okay. So the 5 mistakes that, and I think I actually have 6 on the list, that most people make, my big one that I see, aside from the one I just shared, was that a lot of us in our 40s and even 30s are wearing the wrong type of foundation. I remember years ago when matte foundations were really becoming a thing and this big huge deal, and one of my friends was talking to me, and she was saying how matte foundations were really trending. And I'm like, foundation is just not something you wear based on a trend. It's about your skin type and your skin's needs. And so what happens in our 40s is our skin actually becomes a lot more dry. And because it becomes more dry, when you wear a matte foundation, it actually accentuates everything that you actually want to hide. So, that is one of the big mistakes I see my girlfriends, family members, strangers doing in public is they have on more of a matte foundation when they probably would be better served by something a little more dewy, because when you use that powder, finish, and you have more lines, you have more wrinkles, your face just ends up looking cakey. It ends up accentuating, like I said, exactly what it is that you are trying to diminish. And I don't necessarily want to say mask, but take the attention off of. For sure, you want to take the attention away from some of those things, because I'm not one that's all like you should really be changing the way you look altogether with makeup. But I mean, why bring attention to something that you don't want to bring attention to? And I don't know a person on earth who wants to bring attention to fine lines and wrinkles. Like, you see me minimizing my dark under eye circles right now. I'm not going to do something that's going to bring attention to those, because that just is weird, right? So that's the thing with foundation. You don't want to be bringing attention to your fine lines and wrinkles. And I'm not saying just because you're in your 40s you should be taking a look at it. You should be looking at, how does the foundation sit on your skin when it dries down, when you've had it on for a while? How does it make you look? How are you looking and feeling throughout the day after it's been on your face for a while? Those are things that are important. You need to really be paying attention to that. I know I've had to adjust my routine a lot in recent years. Like, I don't bake anymore because I had some friends who were friends enough to say, hey, it might be time to stop with that, right? And so that's one thing we need to do, is we need to make sure we're wearing the right type of foundation for our skin and our skin's needs, not someone else's, or not because it's a trend, or you see influencers who are 18, 19, 21 years old. Some of them are getting a little older now, but still, many of them are a lot younger than us, and they don't have the skin things going on that we have going on. So you need to keep all of that in mind. You need to keep all of that in mind and do what's right for you, because trust me, the influencer is showing you what looks good on them. They are not going to put themselves in a situation to be looking cray cray. All right. So I've mixed here my Luminous foundation, and I make it even more dewy, more, hydrating than it already is, by mixing it with moisturizer so that it's more like a tinted moisturizer, and with the mattifying primer, because I like that blur, but I don't like a matte look on me. I just don't. So then I add in the Illuminating primer to still bring back some of that dewiness and that luminosity to the skin. And I mean, look at that match. Look at how it just goes on, like super drenched and super wet looking. I love that. And we let that sit for a little bit to bring it down. And I've really moisturized the skin. I should have put on sunscreen, but I didn't. Oh my God. And the thing is this feels so heavenly to your skin too when you do it. It's just like unbelievable, because the foundation has hyaluronic acid in there. And then I always bring it down to the décolletage, because I like to get more of that blurring there. And then it also helps make sure everything looks the same. Don't forget your ears. And I even like to the back of the neck, because the back of the neck gets beat up by the sun and that, and we just don't give it attention. And so I even do my skincare on the back of my neck. So that is one foundation mistake that you're making, is you're using the wrong foundation type for your skin, because there's multiple foundation types. There's creams, there's powders, there's creamy sticks, there's liquid foundation, there's liquid that dries to more of a matte or powdery finish. And like I said, being 47 and approaching 50, I just got invited to a group for my 30-year high school reunion, and I'm a little distraught about that. You know, I can't do the things that I used to do in my 20s. Even, you know, some of the things I was doing 5 years ago with my makeup and my skin, I just can't do that anymore. And if you pay attention to my selfies and my videos, you will see that. So the wrong type of foundation for your skin is top on the list. The second is actually two things in one. You're either wearing foundation that is too light, and I've been guilty of that, or it's the wrong undertone. And that's why I love this bundle we have going, where you can mix two foundations and get the second one for half off after you buy the collection. And here's why I love that, okay? Because 17 is a little too yellow for me. 18 not only brings a little more depth, but my true undertone is almost more like an orange, right? It depends on the season. And that, but my true undertone is actually a little bit more orange. It's not just yellow. It's not just golden. So I need some more red undertones as well to balance everything out and get this beautiful color that we have here. And that's why I like to mix 17 and 18 together. And so that's why I love doing the matching consults for folks either, because a lot of times we blame product and say that the product has flashback, and the product really doesn't have flashback. What the product really has is that you're wearing the wrong shade, that it's too light. And you can wear the wrong shade. I heard somebody say recently, well, you can't really wear the wrong shade. Yeah, you can. If I were to wear this as my foundation, I would look a little crazy, right? And if somebody who this shade of foundation was more appropriate for tried to wear a shade that's more appropriate for me, they would look a little crazy, right? They might even be accused of blackfishing or whatever they call it, right? So you can wear the wrong shade of foundation. You absolutely can wear the wrong shade of foundation. I'll be so happy. I ordered yesterday morning and my order already shipped out, and I'm so glad about it because I am super low on foundation. I'm on concealer, I should say. And I like to mix these two together for more of a skin tone appropriate shade. Okay, so we got that there. So that is another foundation mistake that we often make, okay? So, and I get it because like I said, my face is darker than the rest of my chest and my body, right? Because it's gotten more sun. And so what I like to do is I will go a little lighter on the foundation, but that's because I know I'm going to come in and do at least some light contouring that's going to make it more balanced, and it's going to be darker in here and around the perimeter of the face, okay? Because that's another thing you can do is you can use a lighter foundation in the center of the face and then go with a darker foundation on the perimeter of the face. So see how I lighten that up in there, because I do like it lighter, you know, to balance and counteract some of that dark under eye stuff that I have going on. And I probably use more concealer than some would say I should use, but I never really cared about other people's opinions. I do what makes me feel good and what I like. So if you like wearing a foundation shade that's 4 shades too light, that's good for you. Good for you. But don't get mad when people say that it looks ashy, because they're not actually being mean. That's actually a makeup term. To, you know, on darker skin, they'll say things look ashy. On lighter skin, they'll say it looks chalky. Chalky and ashy are pretty much the same thing, right? Because I remember when I used to formulate foundations, and that term was always thrown out there, chalky. And then I saw it on somebody. I'm like, oh, that's what so it's like ashy, but for more fair-skinned people. That's all it is. And some fair skinned people just say ashy. They don't even try to cover it up and call it chalky. This ashy. So, and that's the other thing I like to do is this really helps to bring, you know, when you have one of the things we get when we are in our 40s, the fat pads start to dissolve, so our eyes look a little more hollow or sunken. And so you can use concealer in the right places to bring that back out. Okay. Loving, loving, loving. It's all about the foundation looking like skin to me. It's so, so important to me. All right. Because I have always had really nice skin that glows, and I like to do that. So if your foundation, again, is a little too light, you can always balance that by using, like I said, something darker along the perimeter in where you would want to really make the bones and make the face shrink a little bit. Like I used to always say, oh, I can lose 7 pounds in my face, you know, in just a matter of minutes, basically by contouring, right? And so you can use bronzer to do that. You can use a darker shade of foundation or even a light powder foundation, okay? Now, the other thing, you saw me applying my foundation with this flat top kabuki brush, okay? If you use, and I just had a bunch of them here, I don't know what I did with them. If you use these little makeup sponge things, all it does is absorb your foundation. I know I have a video somewhere of that, but here, let's just do a demo. Let's just do a demo, okay? So we're going to put a little bit of foundation on here. Okay. So I've got this sponge. I'm going to use this end because it's clean, because I don't know where the little bag of them went, okay? So I'm going to do this with it, okay? And where did most of the foundation go? In the sponge, right? Now, if we use this brush, see the difference? See how it really blends it in and gets it in there? Okay, so you want to use a brush, you want to use a blending sponge, but again, this is more dry, so it's just picking it up. So that's why I like to use the flat top kabuki brush and knock everything down, okay? Because the sponge, as you can see, where's all your foundation? You're wasting your product. So your product will last longer, and it actually gives you a better look and finish when you use... Let's see how many things Tamira can knock down today. When you use a foundation brush, an actual brush. Okay. So pick up my things here that I knocked down because I've got multiple foundations here. Okay. So making sure you are applying with the appropriate tool. Now, like a powder foundation, of course, you're going to use a brush, right? You definitely can't even think of applying a powder with your fingers. You just can't. Okay, so now we're going to move in to do some brows. Oh, I don't know why my skin is so dry and itchy today. Well, for one, I haven't put on any body stuff, so I got to do that. And I think today I'm actually going to use the brow pomade. I haven't used that in a while. I've been using the pencil. I'm going to bless y'all with the brow pomade today while we continue to chit-chat about foundation. Okay, so we've talked about the right foundation type for your skin, what your skin actually needs, not what you see trending on TikTok and Instagram. We've talked about using brushes instead of those little sponges, because I was that person 10, 12 years ago. I always had those sponges. I use them for other things now, but I always had those sponges around 10, 12 years ago, and that's what I used to apply my foundation. And then when I got more into it and knew more what I was doing and bought brushes and started using brushes, my foundation lasted a lot longer. And I think back then I was mostly wearing like a mousse type foundation. It's something Studio Fix from MAC. What was that? It wasn't quite a cream, but it was creamier. It was creamier for sure. Okay. And we'll come over here and do the other one. And what else did we talk about so far? We talked about wearing foundation too light. I mean, you can wear it too dark for your undertone, but most people go too light. And that's both darker skinned folks like myself and lighter skinned folks. Everybody tends to go lighter than they should. I remember that from when I was teach formulating foundations, and it's like, honey, that is too light. Everybody wants their face to be porcelain white, and I was like, that's too light, girl. You got way too much of a red undertone. You know, you're gonna have to stay out of the sun, your whole body, not just your face, if you want to wear that shade. Again, that's just so weird to me when people have like this really red chest and then their foundation is still their winter shade. It looks completely cray cray, but if you like it, I love it. What can I say? But I'm here to tell you, baby girl, boo boo, hey boo boo, you might not want to wear that shade. That shade doesn't look right on you. Okay, and so applying with a sponge. The other thing is, when I apply foundation, I tend to go first to the center of my face where I need it most. And then I'm just, if you go back and watch the replay, you'll see I started like right here and all in here. And then kind of what's left on the brush. That's why even before contouring, you can see the perimeter of my face is darker, because I'm just making sure it blends out and doesn't look like I literally just applied foundation only to the center of my face. You only have to, it's not really meant for you to apply it everywhere. I just apply it mostly heavily where I need it, and then blend it out so that it doesn't look crazy everywhere else. Like, you know, because I've seen people do that too. Especially darker skinned women. I don't know why we do it. We'll tend to only have foundation from the eyebrows down, and it looks so crazy. Like, why are we doing that? You know, I know growing up, there was always this thing about not needing to wear foundation, and that was kind of like a badge of honor. But it's 2021. We're grown up now. First of all, we don't shame people for what they do to their own faces and doing what makes them feel good and makes them feel happy. And second of all, we should not be even concerned with that. We should just be doing what's right. And just putting it on your lower face, it just looks crazy. Again, that's not shaming anybody. That's just the reality of it. If you only do foundation on a certain part of your face, and then on top of that it's full coverage, and you don't have coverage on your forehead, we can see that, and it just doesn't look seamless. It doesn't look effortless, right? It doesn't look like how skin would normally look, unless you're somebody who has, and this does happen to black folk too, where you get that melasma on your forehead where it gets really dark, right? Okay, so like even with this concealer under my brow to mark them out, you see how I just blended that down so it doesn't look as heavy on the lower parts of my lid, but it's blended and it just doesn't look like, boom, there's just a whole bunch of concealer in one spot there, right? Blend. That's something I had to really learn and to really embrace in doing makeup. I used to hear people say that all the time, blend some more. And I'm like, but I am. I don't know how to blend anymore. But you figure it out. Okay? The other mistake that people make with foundation is not wearing primer, okay? So I used the facial oil as my primer, and then I also used both the mattifying and illuminating primer on the actual brush with the foundation. And that's because the foundation really is more of to just give some color back to the skin in this case. than it is to be full on color. Like I said, I did it intentionally more as a tinted moisturizer. Now the question is, Miss Hamilton, what are we going to do with this eye today? What are we going to do? Okay, so here's what I think I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with the Head in the Clouds palette. And I am going to find the brush that I want. And I think I'm going to just start with this chocolate shade and just put this chocolate shade everywhere and see what happens. Okay. Just a chocolate shade. Now I typically, when it comes to a chocolate shade, I typically like a much warmer chocolate, but this is more like a cocoa than a milk chocolate, and that's okay. I probably went in with it a little heavier than I should have, and that's okay. Because this eye is more what I was going for, and that one looks really heavy. So the other mistake is not using a primer, okay? So primer is going to do a couple things for you. It's going to fill in the ridges and the grooves in your skin and take it from being more like an orange to being more like an apple, right? We've all seen those pictures on social media. I know they're all over in my VIP group. I haven't done an updated one. I may or may not do an updated one for Summer Glow makeup class, right? So, clean this off some. Because I really want to just brush this. Okay. So primer, that's what primer is going to do. Primer is going to basically fill in those ridges, those grooves, those imperfections, make the skin have more glide to it so the makeup applies very flawlessly and effortlessly. And primer also is what's going to keep your foundation in place longer throughout the day because it has something to stick to. Okay, so primer is a good thing. I was one of those people. I did not believe in primer. I was like, they're just trying to get me. They playing with me. I don't need no primer. And now I am very much a primer girl because I can actually see the difference when I don't wear a primer. I can totally see the difference when I don't wear primer. And so because of that, I wear primer. Okay. Now, this is a little too white gold for me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some of this bronze shade with it on top of it. Yeah. Because I didn't want just the straight bronze shade, so that's what I'm going to do from here on out. I'm just going to mix those two together. Okay. And we'll do the other eye. So you want to wear primer because primer is going to really help your makeup last longer. And also, like, if you have more of an oily skin type, you're going to want the primer on and even some translucent powder under your foundation to, again, help combat oiliness throughout the day, okay? And to help your foundation stay in place longer. So you're going to want that primer. And there are multiple kinds of primers. At Bellame, we have the Mattifying and the Illuminating. I actually use both. I am a sweater. I don't really get oily skin, but I do sweat a lot, especially in the summer. And so I cut back on some of the Illuminating primer and use more of the Mattifying primer in that case because I can tell the difference. That's what really made me believe in primer is when I started wearing it. And then when the days when I would forget, because you know, sometimes primer and serum, sometimes you just forget, right? Lately, because I haven't been having to use a toner, but I love this clarifying toner that we have. sometimes I mistakenly do it in the wrong order of operation. And so primer is one of those things that sometimes you forget. Excuse me, but it only takes a couple times of forgetting because you'll see the difference in how your makeup looks. And so you won't forget again. You definitely won't forget again. Okay. So let's do a little bit of liner here. I love the Liquid Lux. I've had this for almost a year and not run out yet. Okay. We'll do the same thing over here. All right. Cool. Okay. One's a little thicker than the other, but that's what bangs are for. Because y'all know how that is. You go in and you start fixing, and the next thing you know, it's like way thicker. We can thicken it up just a little bit. So it's a crime not to prime. Do not forget to prime. You have to prime because priming is your friend. Priming is going to make your makeup last longer and just look amazing. Yeah, we're getting some mascaras on here. That's a nice basic everyday look. I love these colors with this shirt that I have on. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry and then I'm gonna do some blending out there. Okay, and so while it does, I am going to, let's see. I am going to pull out my Beauty Bakery. No, oh shit. I hope that didn't break. To warm the face up, I'm going to use my favorite shade from the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. I love to use this as kind of like a bronzer, and that was an excellent call. Excellent, excellent call. Just kind of as like a bronzer to kind of warm things up a little bit, because like I said, I normally like my chocolates warm. Hot, that's why we call it hot chocolate, right? And down the side of the nose here. This isn't really the brush for that. It's not slanted like I thought. Now we getting them summer beach vibes going. Yeah, girl. That's what I'm talking about. Right there, right there. Really kind of bring things down a little bit, but bring them up at the same time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. That's why. Ooh, yes. And since we're in here, I wasn't going to do this, but since we're in here and I love this shade too, we're going to use that as a little bit of highlight. It's a beautiful pink gold. Okay, so what is the other? Okay, so we said not using primer. And then the bonus one is applying your concealer underneath your foundation. Now we're gonna pause on that a little bit and just kind of break that down, because sometimes these blogs and these influencers say these things like this, but they don't give you further explanation, okay? And so I know I've done a video on this, and it is on this page. It's also on my blog about concealer tips for dark skin in those of us over 40, right? And so here's the thing. I like to use, on the days that I need it, foundation shade 10 underneath my foundation to help mask my under eye circles, right? And so that will, if I don't color correct, I will use concealer shade 10 underneath foundation to help mask those dark under eye circles, or I use the orange to color correct, and that does go underneath your foundation. But if you are looking to highlight, then you want to do that over foundation. If you are looking to fix spots on your face, then you want to do that over foundation, or blemishes, then you want to do that over foundation. But for my dark under eye circles, I do that underneath foundation, either a skin tone matching shade or an orange shade to correct. Okay, so I just want to clarify that there. I love it when you do that right there, right there. You know, when we came out with a brown pencil and a black eyeliner pencil, I was kind of like, that's so basic. But I find, like, I really use this cafe a lot. Okay. And do I want, part of me says use the lip stain, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use Barely There moisturizing lipstick, because that's just the vibe of this outfit. That's the vibe of this makeup look, is Barely There. Okay. And now, boys and girls, I'm going to go over that with Bella Bronze. I actually would, oh, this is pretty though. I actually instinctively wanted to go for Bella Blush, but it's pretty dry. I need to order another one. And so that is the look. That is the look. So let's talk about this foundation bundle in case you missed the video yesterday. Okay, so we have an amazing, amazing, amazing foundation bundle right now called Flawless Finish. And it is going to correct a lot of these mistakes that I just talked about. Using the wrong type of foundation if you're over 40. For your skin type and skin need. Too light or wrong undertone. We're going to talk about how this collection fixes that. We already did a little bit. I'm going to go more in depth. We're going to talk about, well, it doesn't address applying with your, you can use the Bella Blender instead of using your fingers to apply your foundation. And I've already given you instruction on not applying it all over. And it comes with a primer, so it takes care of that. And it also comes with concealer, okay? So the base bundle of the Flawless Finish collection is you get your choice of 20 shades of foundation. I've got like 5 or 6 here. Okay, so you get your choice. We've got 20 shades, and as you can see, we've got some very dark shades. There's actually another one that I don't have. I wound up selling it. Foundation shade 19. This is foundation shade 20, and this is 18, and so 19 is in between those two, okay? I don't have it here. So you get your choice of 20 foundation shades. There are a good 6-7 shades for darker skin tones, okay? And so do a color match with me. I'll help you get figured out what your base shade is, and then we may need to do like a correcting or deepening or lightening shade, and I can help you with that because there's a bonus to this collection, okay? You get your choice of 10 different concealer shades, right? The best ones for darker skin tones are 7, 8, 9, and 10. And you can mix them like you saw me do, and look at how gorgeous this looks, right? And you get your choice of primer. We have Illuminating and we have Mattifying. I love both, so I was one of the first people to order this collection. I had to be, because I was like, I had already been pricing and saying, okay, Tamira, this is what you got to buy for yourself this month. You need more primer, you need more concealer, and because I already have a backup foundation, but hello, I ordered more. Okay, so you get your choice of foundation, your choice of concealer, and your choice of primer, right? And then as an added bonus, with free gift with purchase, you get the setting spray, which you can use for priming, conditioning, and what's the P word? Prime, condition, and protect, right? So look at this glow though, right? And then you also get a Bella blender. Those are your free gift with purchase. That is $119, okay? And then it gets even better from there, because we know that you may need to do like I do, mix shade 17 with 18. I don't know how 15 got over here, because Lord knows 15 is not my shade. We found that out by accident and on live video stream. So I mix 17 and 18. So you can add your second shade that I may recommend to you for 50% off. That is huge. That is huge, 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 huge. I'm looking for my brush here because I need to fix under my eye. So you can add as many foundation shades you want for 50% off. You also can do the same with concealer, because you saw I mixed 2 concealers. You can add on multiple shades of concealer for 50% off after you've added the base collection to your cart. You can add multiple primers to your cart for 50% off. But it gets even better, okay? Because when the collection does not come with an auto replenishment option. Okay, so because you can only order it once, because it's a limited time collection only now through May 28th, right? And so, but when you add in a second or third concealer, primer, or foundation, now you have the auto replenishment option, and that will take 10% off of your entire order. And it gets even better yet still, because when you do that auto replenishment, you also get free shipping on orders over $50. You get your birthday perk of $20 in Bella Bucks, and you get early access to new product. And we have 3 new products coming this summer and into fall that I am aware of. And there may be even surprises, because Melissa loves to surprise us, right? So you get all of that too, plus 10% off of your order. And if you happen to be a first-time customer, before I get to that, let's go back. Okay, so you get that 10% off of your full order. That makes the second foundation, concealer, primer, third, fourth, fifth, however many more you add, actually 60% off. Now we can move on to, if you're a new customer, now it's another 20% off, right? So now if you're a new customer and you do the auto replenishment, now you're going to get 30% off of the collection itself, and your additional primers, concealers, and foundations are now 80% off. I don't know why people haven't been running to the boutique to buy this collection. Because you can, I mean, look at this match. Look at this glow. Look at how soft. There's no filter. This is live stream. Look at how my skin looks. I look filtered, and I'm not. And the longer it sits, the more beautiful it gets, and it's plump, and it's dewy, and it's hydrated. And you can add on as many foundations, concealers, and that, if you're a new customer, up to 80% off. And if you are an existing customer, it's going to be 60%, okay? Off of additional foundations, concealers, and primers, right? And You want to make sure you have $100 subtotal in your cart, because now we're going to give you $20 in Bella Bucks to come back to the boutique and order what you want in June. Y'all, this is it. It doesn't get any better than this. This is insane. This is amazing. You want this deal. You want to be getting this collection and adding on as much as you can, especially if you are a first-time customer, right? Especially if you are a first-time customer, because you get the savings of up to 80% on the additional, right? And 30% on the actual kit itself, right? So you want to get this deal. You want this. And you want to get it before it's gone on May 28th, okay? This is amazing. And the collection is available for new partners as well, right? I don't remember the new partner pricing, but it's a great deal too, right? So like I said, I get to get the additional stuff at the 50% discount just like everybody else does, and I did that yesterday. And I'm probably going to do another collection so that I can get foundation shade 19 again and just stock up on, because I mean, I love concealer. We know I love concealer. I actually, you know, this look is more concealer than it is foundation, because it's a bunch of primer, a bunch of moisturizer, because I moisturized underneath, you know, using it as a 10-cent moisturizer. And that, right? So this is not a lot of foundation. This is mostly concealer, right? And where I needed it, right? So the foundation mistakes are using matte or powder. And you're over 40, you probably need a more luminous foundation, okay? You know, you might have too many lines, too many wrinkles for that matte and powdered look. It's just going to make you look worse. And then too light or wrong undertone of foundation. And like I said, this is why I do 18 and 17, because I have a very golden undertone, but I still need some red. I got my daddy's red undertone too, so I still need some red. My mom is very yellow. My daddy is more red, so I'm both. So I need some more red with my foundation, and how I do that is by shade 18, just a little bit, right? And actually I use more in the summer, because now I look nice and tan. I look like I've been at the beach. I love this look. I'm very happy, right? And applying with your sponge. Where did it go? If you use these sponges, stop. You see that? I don't have a flat top foundation brush, but I have a flat top Bella blender, and it works beautifully. I just prefer the brush myself, because that's what I've been using for years, okay? And you don't have to apply your foundation all over. Just apply it more where you need it. It's more in the center of the face. It's a crime not to prime, baby girl. It's a crime not to prime, right? The link for the collection is in the comments. I pinned it. And then under wearing your concealer under your foundation, right? Like I said, I do use my color corrector or my skin tone shade underneath my foundation to help bring those dark under eye circles to the right skin tone, so the foundation is going on more evenly, right? Other than that, for brightening and highlighting, I do that over the foundation, okay? So those are the foundation mistakes. Run and get this bundle. This bundle is insane. I thought Melissa was crazy. I'm like, there has to be a catch. What is the catch to this? And there isn't. We just launched this during, you know, August, and we all know what was happening when we originally launched this. And so now, you know, as the world is opening back up and people are going outside more and doing things, you know, they're looking to do more with their makeup and their foundation again. So we want to help you out. We've got stock for you to be able to do this, and go ahead and load up. I mean, if you're a new customer, almost 80% off. I have a customer who got additional concealers for $6 yesterday. You know, we looked at what happened to her cart when she added more concealers, and it only went up by $6. So, I mean, that's amazing. And these are clinical grade skincare infused concealers with hyaluronic acid that's 5 times more powerful than what most other products have in them. It's got the baobab oil in there. The foundation has hyaluronic acid, baobab oil, and vitamin E, which I've been having a little bit of an eczema flare up. So the vitamin E in the foundation the foundation doesn't irritate my skin because I'm getting the eczema actually on the eyelid in the little, is it called a crack right here? And so the foundation and the concealer doesn't irritate it because it's got the vitamin E in there. It's got the baobab oil, which is great for wound healing. It's kind of almost like shea butter, but more in an actual oil format. And like, I can't stop looking at myself on the screen because my skin is just flawless and beautiful from the way that I, put everything on the flat top. So if you miss that, I do 2 pumps of the Mattifying, a pump of the Illuminating, a full pump of 17, and like a half a pump of 18, and 2 pumps of our hydrating moisturizer. So it's truly like a tinted moisturizer, and it is the perfect, most beautiful deep match with the perfect amount of golden undertones, but still balanced with that red. And this is the result. Like I said, I liked the foundation, but these two made me fall in love with it. It was like, yeah, it's good, but it's not as good as what I used to customize. Now I'm basically customizing it every time I put it on the brush, and it's better. I never thought I would say that, but it's better. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Like, I feel like I got like baby soft skin, like I'm a teenager or in my 20s, the way that my skin looks right now. So you definitely want to get this collection. And best of all, we back our product up, 45-day money back guarantee. Okay. So I haven't had anybody do that because everybody, tends to be satisfied. Okay. And we will work with you to make sure that you are satisfied. Our customer service is really, really on top of things. So that is it. I could keep talking because I am loving looking at this skin. I mean, it looks just as beautiful in person as it is on the screen. And like I said, there is absolutely no filter. It's Facebook Live. So that's it, y'all. Go ahead. All the information is pinned in the comments, and I am going to go. I hope to see you all in Summer Glow online beauty event. We're actually already kind of started, to be honest with you, with Summer Glow, because this collection dropped in my face, and glow is a huge part of Summer Glow, obviously. And if we wait until the 26th to talk about it, that doesn't make sense. We're talking about it now. So go grab your collection. You'll have it in time to play with me, and we might even go on Zoom and I'll do our makeup together at the same time. If enough people order ahead of time, we can do that, right? So have a great day, and I will chat with you later. Bye.